Hello, and welcome to the Healing Mama podcast. I'm your host and certified positive discipline parent educator, Danny Bonsignor. Join me for some encouraging conversations surrounding faith, motherhood, and helpful parenting tools for you to view everyday parenting challenges as a means to grow that is respectful to both you and your child. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, and welcome to episode 27 of the Healing Mama podcast. I am so grateful that you are taking the time to sit with me today, whether you're driving, cleaning, walking, whatever it is you do when you like to listen to podcasts. Thank you, and I'm grateful. I have had this overwhelming urge to just be grateful. I don't know how else to put it, but I do know that I want to talk about it. The change in your atmosphere when you actively choose to be grateful, when you choose to be present, when you make the conscious choice to be how it is you wish to be. I'm a big fan of affirmations, and I used to be, I don't want to say afraid, but I used to shy away from talking about this because I felt like I would talk to so many Christians and they would just kind of shame the act of affirmations. So when I decided to get deeper into my faith, it actually blew my mind that there are so many verses in the Bible that talk about the power of our words. Our words and our thoughts are powerful, and in every moment you get to decide what you focus on. Do you focus on what aggravates or annoys you? Or do you focus on what you can change and what brings you joy? Something that helps me is when I find it challenging to focus on the good, I will play something that makes it really hard for me to focus on anything negative. If I'm with my 4-year-old Lorelai, it's usually worship music. If I'm by myself, it's usually an audiobook, either a Christian self-help book or Louise Hay, who is one of my favorites. When my daughter Lorelai, who as I mentioned is my 4-year-old, when she was a baby and all I had was her as a baby and me, I would listen to Louise Hay constantly. I'm like, that is probably the soundtrack to her consciousness. Or I hope it is anyway, because what a beautiful inner voice to have. I love Louise Hay. She's amazing, and I highly recommend any of her books if you are wanting to just kind of help that inner voice, kind of help your thoughts be more positive. She's a great place to start. I talked last episode about being out of alignment, and with a joyful heart, I come to you today and I tell you that I feel myself slowly and surely getting back to my place of peace. I want to share with you a few of the ways I do this in hopes it will work for you if it's something you need or bring you to something that does. Getting out of alignment is just kind of part of life, I think, and being aware of that and helping yourself to get back into that alignment, it's just something that I think we have to do multiple times at multiple points in life. Especially when we go through things such as hormone therapy, pregnancy, and having a baby. But the perspective shift always amazes me. It's the coolest thing to me when I can be in a moment I've been in so many times before, but I am consciously aware of how I am reacting. Nothing is new about the moment, and you realize when you start to focus on yourself and your reactions that a lot of the moments, while different, are the same. It's like a track that keeps replaying until you accept the lesson, and while the track will continue to play, how you hear or see it changes. And after this moment passes, you're left with this deep sense of pride that you finally accepted the lesson and have made an effort to change. Handling moments that you once might have reacted to out of anger or pettiness, come on, but you choose to handle with gentleness and kindness, man, it's worth the work. It is a feeling that I chase. Nothing feels better than just reacting so well in a moment that you used to not react well in. It feels so good. So how am I doing this? For starters, I'm affirming it. Every time I pass a mirror, I'm making eye contact and I'm telling myself, I love you, I approve of you, I see you with eyes of love, and I love what I see. If I handle a situation poorly because I'm human, I'm finding a mirror and I'm looking myself in the eyes and I'm saying, I handled that poorly and I still love you. I'm waking up, and before I do anything, even leave my bed, I have a set of prayers I pray every day for myself, my husband, and our girls. Side note, I actually saw this quote somewhere, something, I might butcher it, but you'll get the point. And it was talking about how you can be a husband and you can do whatever it is that you do because we cannot control our spouses, but we can control ourselves. And to just be a wife who prays for her husband, how powerful that is for your husband. And he might not pray these same prayers that you're praying every day, but praying over him and praying for him and everything that he does, I just don't want you to think that it doesn't matter, because it's huge. And the difference in a man who has a wife who prays for him and a wife who doesn't, I think, could be really significant. So, with that being said, I'm currently working through this book called 5 Things to Pray for Your Spouse, which I highly recommend. As I'm praying these prayers over my spouse, it's also changing my heart. You can't control your spouse and you can't control your child, but you can control yourself. And when you focus on controlling yourself, then it's wild and wonderful how the behavior of those around you can change. In the same way that yelling, bad moods, and poor attitudes have a ripple effect on those in your household, so does choosing joy, peace, and calm. Something else I love doing is affirming and repeating often to myself, I enjoy being a patient and loving wife and mother. When I'm choosing to speak this, there's no time for shame. There's no time for coulda, shoulda, wouldas. There's just me and my conscious and subconscious choice to be patient and loving. When my 4-year-old is crying over something, not even crying, but wailing, and if you know, you know, over something that I don't understand, and I'm able to view the situation through clear eyes and a calm mind, knowing that she feeling this way has nothing to do with me. I am able to share my peace. I am able to be calm and give her the space to feel without feeling like I need to match her energy. And that, my friend, is a freedom I wish every parent could experience. It sounds selfish, or at least it used to sound selfish to me. The idea of focusing on myself and not my child, or focusing on myself and not my husband. But it's the most selfless thing that I can do, to focus on myself and my relationship with God, and to focus on the things that bring me joy. That is how I'm able to be a better mother and a better wife. Sometimes it's having to let my daughter know that Mommy is reading her Bible right now, doing my affirmations and praying, but as soon as I'm done, I'd love to help you. And then letting her be upset if she needs to be, because she doesn't yet understand how this makes me a better mom, but one day I know that she will. Oftentimes I even invite her to join me, and she has her Bible in her notebook and she takes little notes or draws pictures, and it's the sweetest thing. Something so simple and so special is inviting your child to do what you are doing, and a lot of times misbehavior is due to undue attention. And we might think we are giving our child adequate attention, but we are going about it the wrong way. And oftentimes it's more work, the way we're doing it, than the way it needs. So what's the right way? Choices and spending time together, doing things you both enjoy. I had actually been failing on this, even as a certified positive discipline educator with all of the tools in my pocket. I still wasn't going about this the right way. Because I'm human, and I'm an imperfect mom, just like you or dad. And my daughter's behavior was that of a child who wasn't getting her needs met in the way she needed. Something simultaneously frustrating and amazing is that when our child misbehaves, and often they will have the same misbehavior in different scenarios because they have this belief or need that is causing the misbehavior. And as a parent, it's your job to figure this out. And when you do, you'll know, because even though your child had no idea it's what they needed, their behavior changes. Sometimes it happens incredibly fast. My daughter and I had such an incredible day today because I woke up and chose to be intentional and see if I could target where her misbehavior was coming from. I really felt it was undue attention because a lot of the misbehavior had been the same since her sister arrived. And even though I thought I was being intentional on making her feel important and included, I was doing it the wrong way. I was doing it my way and not the way she needed. So I laid her sister down for a nap. Selah's her name, my 4-month-old if you're new here, in our bed, and said a prayer that she would stay asleep for at least 30 minutes. And then I asked my 4-year-old if she would rather jump on the trampoline, which is something I know she loves, and it was finally really nice out and she could do that, or finish a book she had wanted me to read the other day, and she chose the trampoline. Then I let her take the lead. Something I love doing is just sitting back and letting her lead, letting go of my desire to control the situation and trusting her to lead the play. Because honestly, play is really her expertise and not mine. Everything we did on the trampoline was led by her, and we laughed, and it was so good. And I'm always amazed at just how wonderful the girl can play. When her sister woke up, there was no crying or begging me to still play, and after I got Selah changed and in her carrier where I fed her, I told Lorelai, my 4-year-old, that I needed to prep dinner, and I'd love if she wanted to help. But if she wanted to play, that was okay. And she said, "I'd love to help you, Mom." Which, come on, cue the tears because she's so sweet. Something I learned about, but noticed personally as well, is how when we are doing a task together, if I'm being more critical than I am encouraging, she will want to understandably stop doing the task. And it's often like, "I don't want to do this anymore," or "You can do it, Mom." I always try to give tasks where she is able to have more freedom in how she does it, and I'm able to let go of that need for control. For example, measuring anything is always done in a separate bowl so she can do it, and same with seasoning, so there's no risk in ruining the whole recipe if we pour too much salt or oil or milk, and she gets to try it how she wants to without me interfering. I always make an attempt not to rush her because she usually gets very immersed in what she's doing or goes about it in a way that takes way longer than it would if I did it how I would like. But rushing is not the point, and it's hard to be intentional and mindful while rushing. Oftentimes, it's not so much about the task as it is about the time spent together while doing the task. Cleanup is just as important as cooking, and I try to imbue positive feelings surrounding this, so it's a task she hopefully learns to enjoy, or at least associate with good memories and feelings, but I always give her the choice of rinsing the dishes or cleaning the countertops, because if I were to just say, "Would you like to help me do the dishes, or would you like to go play?" she's gonna want to go play, because who wouldn't? So I give her the choice of rinsing the dishes or cleaning the countertops, and she usually just picks one, and she does so joyfully. Both are tasks that are actually helpful and that she can do alone, and while she does one, I'll do another, and we listen to music as we clean, and it's something that is so simple and necessary, and I often find myself trying to commit these moments with her at this age to my memory. It is so bittersweet just thinking about how this has looked and changed every year, from being in her carrier while I cook and clean, to emptying the cupboards while I'm cooking and cleaning, to splashing in the sink, to cutting food with her toddler knives, to now where she can actually cook and clean. It's just amazing, and it feels so surreal now that I have another baby who is starting her journey in the carrier. While there are seasons that are tougher than others and days that feel longer than the season, there is joy to be found if it is what you are looking for. I don't want to look back on this season and remember being in survival mode. I want to thrive in this season even if it's hard. The first 3 years of a child's life is when the foundation of their entire life is being built. And I want to be intentional and diligent and present. I want to help them build these foundations with a strong mind, a peaceful heart, and a whole lot of faith. And I want to look back on this season knowing I did my best and I left the rest to God, knowing that there is nothing I could do that is too big for God to override, because He has a plan for my girls and He has a plan for me. So I'm just putting my faith in that. And a lot of times we are so overly involved, this need for constant control, that we insert ourselves in every possible moment, that we leave no room for God to work. If you are constantly parenting from fear or always nagging, then you're leaving no room for faith that God is going to handle it and no space to let Him do so. You either parent out of fear or you parent out of faith. And every day and every moment you get to choose. So what's it going to be? You can start with today. Start with today being the day that you choose to parent from a place of faith and not from a place of fear. I hope this gives you some food for thought. Mull it over. Think about the kind of parent you really want to be. The habits you've created that you don't love and wish to change, because it's never too late. It's never too late to ask God for help in your parenting or your marriage or your career. It's never too late, and that's so encouraging. Thank you for tuning in today, for joining me in this, what I hope has been encouraging conversation. And as a favor to me, I ask that you please share this episode or any episode that you have loved with at least one person. Thank you for helping the Healing Mama podcast grow, and have a beautiful next couple of weeks. Until next time.